Sometimes when he wants to have sex, I'll tell him, hey, why don't you go?
I've tried the supplements. We've done the trying a new toy, buying some new lingerie, reading some smart.
None of those solutions will work unless you have. I'm Hannah Johnson, the Libido Fairy, and this is Phone a Fairy, an opportunity for women to express themselves freely on matters related to the sexual health of their romantic relationships. Text this number right here if you would like to be featured on a future episode of the show. All right, we have our first caller of the day. Caller 1, can you hear me?
I can. Hi.
Hi, it's so good to meet you. Can you share where you're calling in from and how long you've been with your partner?
Yeah, so I'm Jess. I'm calling in from London and I've been with my partner John for 3 years.
Amazing. 3 years with John. And what's happening with you and John? What's happening in your sex life?
Not much, and that's really the biggest problem here. It's quite hard for me to talk about this, honestly. It's a topic that I now have a really deep shame around. I'm just really at a loss as to what to do.
You're so brave for being here and sharing this. I just want to commend you for being open about this. And yeah, this topic can be really hard to talk about. And the shame that you're feeling, I think a lot of people that are watching this can probably relate to feeling that shame when things aren't going well in their sex life. Would you be open to just sharing a little bit more about exactly what's kind of causing that for you? What does it kind of look like inside of your sex life right now?
Yeah, of course. And I think the shame as well is that I just feel like I've tried everything and I just keep kind of hitting this roadblock. It's just super exhausting and frustrating. But let me try and give a little bit more detail. I just feel so shut down. It's just not something that I'm able to overcome. By thing, I mean it's just become really mechanical. It's become awkward. I find myself shying away from his touch. I don't want to be this person. I don't recognize myself in this. But unfortunately, this has become our normal. I can't deny that. His love language is physical touch. I know that. I feel awful that I can't meet his needs. I also want to connect with him in that way, even though honestly, I'm so tired and have a million things that go through my head every day. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on.
I just want you to know that what you've described is so common. And I know sometimes when you're in it, it can feel really isolating and feeling like you're the only one that has experienced this. But we see women inside of my program, the Intimacy Accelerator, that deal with this exact thing every single day. And so first, I just want to say there is hope to move through this. There are tools that can work for you to move you through this. And so if you're open to it, I would love to just talk with you through what some of those might be to help you through this situation. Are you open to that?
Yeah, I mean, Hannah, I would absolutely love that. Thank you. And just also thank you so much for such a kind approach. I really do feel like that is a lot of what's been missing until this point, if I'm honest, in the experiences that I've had.
Yeah. So I want to hear a little bit more about that. I want to know what you've tried first to know what's not working for you. And then we can move into what might work better for you. So could you said you've tried everything. Could you share a little bit more about some of the things that you've tried so far and what didn't work about those for you?
Yeah, of course. So what have I done? So I've tried the supplements. We've done the trying a new toy, buying some new lingerie, reading some smart. I've had my hormones tested. I was referred to a pelvic floor specialist at one point. I have tried to have some therapy. It's something about it just feels really off, and I haven't really got to the bottom of what that is. I think those are the main things, if I'm honest.
Okay, great. Is this something that has been going on in your relationship since the beginning, or were things working for you at some point, or has sex just always been something that's really hard for you?
Yeah, for sure, it was better at the beginning. I can now see, I think there is a slight pattern here where at the beginning of my relationships, I tend to be okay. And then this new normal that I've just described to you kind of steps in. Dare I say, when things become more mundane or when we start living together. I think that is a pattern that I've noticed.
Okay, great. And then about how long into your relationship did that happen?
Yeah, I would say like a year in.
Okay. And apart from things maybe becoming more mundane or living together, were there any other changes that happened in your relationship around that 1 year mark or in your personal life outside of sex? Was there anything that happened around that 1 year mark?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, things got a little bit busier. I changed jobs. John had some health issues. I do just feel like those are kind of convenient excuses, though, if I'm honest.
So you're talking yourself down even more, right? I'm just noticing, can I be totally honest with you?
Yeah.
I am noticing that there's a way that you're relating to yourself, which is so hard on yourself. You're putting a lot of pressure on yourself to provide sex for your partner when you're feeling exhausted, you're feeling like you've tried everything. And then also, you said health issues, changed jobs, moved in together, got more busy. They were all, and then the next thing you said right after that was, oh, those are just excuses. Instead of potentially just having compassion for yourself and recognizing there was a big life change that happened. There were all of these events that were happening that were impacting maybe your ability to feel safe or relaxed or open in your body. There were these big transitions in your relationship. And instead of having compassion for yourself and accepting, oh, maybe that might be the reason why I'm struggling with sex, you're going, oh, those are just excuses. There must be something wrong with me, or, the kinds of stories that you're telling yourself, the shame that you pointed to at the beginning. Can you see that?
Yeah, I mean, that is such a helpful reflection. And you're right. I know that I'm so hard on myself. I put a ton of pressure on myself all the time. I have perfectionist tendencies. I live in my head.
I hear you. I've been there. I have been there. I promise you, I know what that's like. I'm also still struggling with being an overachiever. I think that's always going to be a gift and a curse, right? I would imagine that being someone who is driven has a lot of benefits in your life, right? Has that gotten you pretty far in life outside of sex?
Completely. But I can see how it possibly has not been benefiting me when it comes to my sex life.
Definitely. Definitely. So apart from just the physical things that we could totally work on and provide you with ways to get more turned on or feel more pleasure or enjoy sex more, what I actually think is more beneficial for you at this point is going deeper and learning how to have more self-compassion and build your self-esteem. Do you know how to do that?
Not really. I would like to say that I do know how to do that, but I think the truth is I don't.
Great. I can help you with that. That's why you're here, right?
Oh, I would love that.
Okay, there's two
I need
things.
it.
I got you. I got you on this. Okay, there's two things that I have found have been incredibly beneficial to building my self-esteem and creating more self-compassion. On the self-esteem piece, the biggest thing is going to be keeping promises to yourself. In the smallest, most minute ways, choosing to care for yourself in moments where it would be so much easier to say, oh, I'm not important. Oh, other people are more important. Oh, my job is more important. Actually keeping a promise to yourself, which is, oh, I said that on my lunch break, I was going to take 5 minutes to go outside and take a walk and relax my nervous system. And so in that moment, when you said you were going to do that, actually keeping that promise to yourself. So that's thing one on self-esteem. The other piece on self-compassion is how are you speaking to yourself and practicing loving, kind internal dialogue. The easiest way that I have ever found to do this is actually setting specific time aside to practice it. And it sounds so goofy and so cheesy, but sitting down for 5 minutes in the morning, and you can do this either to yourself in the mirror, or if that feels really uncomfortable for you, you can just do it sitting with your eyes closed and saying to yourself, maybe with a hand on your heart or your belly, I'm here with you. What do you need today? I'm listening to you. I've got you. I'm here with you. Like really kindly repeating to yourself curiosity, loving words, kind words towards yourself. And as cheesy as that is, or as it sounds, those practices have been monumental in shifting the way that I feel about myself. What do you think about those practices?
Wow. I mean, I'm kind of mind blown, to be honest, because it makes total sense now hearing you say that. And I love how easily accessible those feel to me. I'm busy. I'm all about working smarter and not harder. Um, and I just never would have recognized that connection on my own.
Totally. My question to you is, how are you ever going to accept that your partner wants to fuck you if you don't feel confident in yourself and you don't love yourself and want to fuck you? I think
So true. So true. If
totally.
I can't love myself and be vulnerable with myself, how can he?
Yes. And how can you be there with him, vulnerable, open, if you don't have a deep level of self-esteem, self-respect, self-compassion there in that moment?
Yeah. And that's his whole thing, right? In the rare moments where I do allow myself to be intimate with him, I'm not fully present. And he knows it, and I know it.
Amazing. So I want you to start with these tools, use these. Once you get to a place where these feel easy and consistent with you, I would highly recommend you actually check out the Intimacy Accelerator, because we can also help you continue to build on that and figure out how to turn yourself on, feel more pleasure, communicate what you like with your partner. I think that would be a really great place for you if that was something that you were interested in.
Yes, I'm so happy I called in. Honestly, I cannot thank you enough right now. Thank you. This has felt really safe to me as well, and just really comfortable.
That means the world to me that you feel that way. Thank you so much for calling in, and thank you for being so open and vulnerable.
Thank you, Hannah.
Okay, we just finished up with caller one, and she's experiencing something that is very relatable. We've covered stuff like this before, but what's unique about caller one is she's been in a position where this has been a problem for years, and it's a pattern that's recurred in many relationships where she shuts down sexually. Now, we could potentially prescribe things to her similar to what she's had in the past, like check your hormones or try new things in bed. But I could just sense in the way that she was talking about herself that there's something deeper going on there that's really preventing her from feeling vulnerable, feeling safe, and really opening up to any of those things possibly working. None of those solutions will work unless you have a foundation of deep connection to your body, deeper levels of self-worth and self-esteem, and really going to the root of what the issue is. So that's why we prescribe to her some tools that can help her increase her self-esteem and confidence. If you'd like to be featured on a future episode of the show, you can just text this number right here and we will put you in a queue. Looks like we have our second caller here. Caller 2, can you hear me?
Hi, yeah, I can.
Amazing. So caller 2, where are you calling from and how long have you been with your partner?
I'm calling from New York, and I've been with my husband. We just got married in December, but we've been together for almost 7 years.
7 years is amazing. And congratulations on your wedding. That's so exciting.
Thank you so much.
Can you share a little bit about what's happening behind closed doors? What's happening in your sex life?
We ebb and flow. I know that's pretty natural, but when we don't have sex, it's for longer periods of time, and it usually comes with a lot of fear and doubt. Almost like that lack of desire really makes me get into my head, and to the point where sometimes I question, like, is he even the right one? I'm not on fire, so to speak, all the time in the bedroom, and then or at least when we are, we have trouble maintaining that for long periods of time. And I wish I could almost go from like the question right now is like, oh, I'm not sexually on fire with him, so maybe he's not the one. And I wish I could turn that more into like, how can I stop just auditioning him and myself, of course, in the bedroom? Because it's almost like that auditioning and that question is killing a lot of opportunities for desire, just my capacity for desire, instead of helping me strengthen it.
Okay, so I just want to clarify with you exactly what's happening. So it sounds like you and your partner go through seasons where sometimes things are really sexy and really hot and really fun, and then sometimes they're a little bit less exciting and you don't feel that desire. And then in those seasons where it's not as exciting, you start to question the relationship. Is that correct? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Got it. Totally got it. And outside of sex, describe your relationship to me. What is your partner like? What is the relationship like?
Aw, I love this question. I mean, I just love him so much. I really do. He's just my rock. He's my safe space. I'm just always, no matter what's going on with us, I'm just always looking forward to him coming home. And I'm looking forward to coming home and seeing him and just, we have a very gentle, humorous, silly, almost childlike love, which I super love. And you know, we are both very passionate people. We have cultural roots of like in the same area of the world, very Mediterranean, so we're very passionate, and it definitely complements each other very well. And he just encourages me to chase my dreams, and I just love that about him, and I believe in his too. So, in terms of just our relationship as a whole, we're very well matched and well suited for each other's temperaments. And um, yeah, it's just that like sex part that we just keep trying to maintain and just falls off more often than we want to.
Okay, I'll ask you a few rapid fire questions here. I just want you to like quick answer yes or no. Do you feel more proud of yourself as a person through being in your relationship?
I think so.
Do you feel like it's safe to share with your partner what you like, what you need? He's open and receptive to those things.
Yes, for the most part, yes.
Do you feel like more of your relationship is spent connecting or disconnecting?
Overall, more connecting. Maybe not just sexually, but yeah, connecting.
Okay, I want to just give you permission to stop questioning your relationship. Just, you don't need to agonize over this one area of your relationship, sometimes not quite clicking, because to me, it sounds like there are so many beautiful, wonderful parts of your relationship. And sex just gets to be an area where you're going to require a little bit more effort, a little bit more intention, a little bit more work. And that doesn't mean that there's something wrong with your relationship. So I want to just congratulate you actually on having such a healthy relationship. And let's talk. Well, first, how does that land with you?
Yeah, it makes me smile. I feel like I'm blushing because, yeah, it really does help hearing that just because something might be more of like it needs more effort doesn't mean that it's inherently wrong or that um, it should be easy. I think that's like definitely what's gotten in my way too, feeling like, oh, this should be so easy. And then, so thank you for just giving that permission of like, hey, this might just be an area that needs a little bit more work. That doesn't mean there's anything just inherently wrong with it. So it does land. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, think about all of the most rewarding parts of your life. Think about all of the things that are the most valuable to you. Are those things that just are handed to you or things that just come easier naturally? Or are they the things that require effort and work and you really, maybe struggle through it a little bit or you really put your heart and soul into making it good? Which of those things is juicier or more rewarding when it comes to your life?
Oh, the latter for sure.
Great.
I was just saying like no doubts at all about that.
Okay, so let's just look at sex like that. What if it was actually better for your relationship that sex is something that requires more effort? Because then the outcome from it, when you have it click, when you have it feel so good, it's actually because you put the time and you put the care and you put the intention into it. And that will make it feel like it's a juicier reward. What if we could just look at sex like that? Would that be helpful?
I mean, yeah, gosh, I've never even thought of it like that in relation to the other things like in my life.
Okay, so I am so glad that you called. And I just want to wrap this up again by just reassuring you you're in the right relationship. You guys have something that so many people wish that they had, which is such a stable foundation, great communication, so much love, so much care between the two of you. So, yeah, just permission slip to stop questioning it, feel more secure, and then approach sex as a really beautiful, wonderful project to work on together. Sound good?
Sounds really good.
Okay, thank you so much for calling. I really, really appreciate your time and your vulnerability, and I look forward to hearing how this goes for you.
Thank you so much. And how can I let you know, or what's like a good way to tell you?
I would love if when you are experiencing less questioning, more pleasure, you can just slide in my DMs. Just let me know. Send me a message.
Okay, I will.
Okay, perfect. Looking forward to hearing from you.
Thank you so much, Hannah.
Thank you so much for your time. So, we're just wrapping up caller number 2. And really, what this was about at its core is sometimes women just need reassurance. I know for me, there are so many moments in my life where I go through doubt, questioning, insecurity, uncertainty. And sometimes all we need is just someone to say, "You're good. Everything's okay. You're doing a great job." That's really just what she needed in this scenario. And I felt very honored to be able to provide that support for her. Sometimes that's all I'm here to do, is just let you know that you're okay and you're normal and you're doing a good job. Text this number right here if you would like to be featured on a future episode of the show. All right, so we have caller 3 here now. Caller 3, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, wonderful. Where are you calling in from, and how long have you been with your partner?
I have been with my partner for about 5 years, and we're calling in from Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Amazing. 5 years together. Congratulations. And what brings you to the call? What's going on in your sex life?
Yeah, so I just had a baby.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's so exciting.
And, you hear all of these horror stories of people's sex lives after they have a baby. And my partner happens to be a very high sex drive kind of person. And I know that our relationship works better when we're having sex. However, my hormones are obviously tanked and things are different down there. So I'm trying to figure out how to meet that need while still like being kind to myself and how to how to get there even though my hormones are tanked, right?
Mm,
Does that make sense?
totally makes sense. How long ago did you have your baby?
3 months ago.
3 months ago. Okay. And are you having sex right now?
Yes.
Okay. And how does it feel down there right now?
Not great.
Okay.
Not great.
Okay. Um, does your partner know that it doesn't feel that good for you?
Yes, we have talked about that recently. I don't think he originally knew,
Mm,
and then he was like trying to initiate sex more frequently, and I was like, "Hey, I can't do it that frequently because it hurts."
yes. I am so glad that you communicated that to him first and foremost. Good job speaking up and telling him that it hurts. And what was his response to that?
He's like, "Oh, thank you for telling me.
Okay.
I don't want to hurt you."
Of course. I wonder, apart from this sex portion of your relationship, how else is your communication with your partner? What else is the relationship like? Can you just share a little bit more context? Like, is your partner very loving, very understanding? Do you have good communication? What is the dynamic like?
Yeah, we do. He is very understanding. In fact, he told me after he watched me give birth, he was like, "I understand why you might not want to have sex for a while. And so sometimes when he wants to have sex, I'll tell him, hey, why don't you go watch our birth video? But he is super understanding and he's super understanding and he still has a high sex drive. And sometimes he can be really sour and really moody when his sexual needs aren't getting met, where he's literally just down in the dumps and it impacts our entire family.
Does he have a self-pleasure or masturbation practice?
I don't know. I think probably. We don't sleep in the same bed right now either, because I co-sleep with my baby and I'm nursing all night, and I'm of the belief that like one parent should be really well rested. So I don't know what he does after he goes to bed. I should ask him.
Well, my thought is if his libido not getting that specific need met is impacting the quality of interactions in your relationship, in the interim where penetrative sex specifically is painful for you, I think that there may be a value to him creating for himself a masturbation practice or self-pleasure practice where he can feel like some of those needs are met in himself. And I guess the other question I would have though is, what is he really, do you know, you may not know, you might have to ask him this, what is he really seeking from sex with you? Is it just an orgasm and a release, or is there something deeper or different that he is seeking from sex with you?
I think it's both. I think it is the connective part. And I noticed that too. Like I said, everything works better in our life when we're having sex. Like I get more of what I want. He's happier, I'm happier. So there is like a connective piece, but also he's like a high testosterone kind of person and just has a really strong sex drive. So, um, yeah, I think he like needs that release too.
So the good news in this is that sex and masturbation, partnered sex and masturbation, can provide totally different experiences. And for your partner, what it sounds like is he's seeking two different things. And on the front of the release or the orgasm, that's so easy to take care of on your own. And he can totally do that as long as that's within the bounds of what you feel comfortable with in your relationship. But the connection piece is something that you two can cultivate in an intimate way without having penetrative sex that might hurt you. There are so many other things that you and your partner can do intimately that would have that same impact of creating connection that are not penetration. Do you feel like there are things in that realm that feel good to you right now?
Yeah. No, kind of. I sometimes because sex is not that interesting to me right now, I just want to get it over with as quickly as possible. So there's two parts to that. When he masturbates, let's say we have sex like a couple days later or the next day, it's going to take him longer to orgasm. And so it makes me not want him to masturbate because I want him to orgasm quickly, which is not the best feeling in the world. Um, and then, yeah, the other stuff, are you talking about like intimate, like connective things or like
Yes,
sexual things or both?
totally, totally. Okay. This is perfect because I actually want him to not seek an orgasm with you.
Okay.
I really believe that having him separate out orgasm from intimate time with you is going to take the pressure off of you having to feel like you have to provide that for him and will allow more space in your intimate connecting time to be about the thing that he really wants to get from that experience and something that might actually be for you too, which would be the connection. And so rather than thinking about sex just as something that leads to an orgasm, I want to open the definition to include things like just laying together naked and cuddling, or having some romantic kissing, or exchanging erotic massage, or doing things that are just sensual and engaging in pleasure, especially while your body is healing, that are really low impact, low pressure, sensual, and just create the thing that I think both of you could really benefit from when it comes to a sexual encounter, which is connection without orgasm or penetration. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that makes sense for sure. Um, and I will say that typically when we do have those more sensual experiences, that's when he's gonna like want to have sex after, no matter what. No matter if he, masturbated 30 minutes before or 2 days before, he's still, but I'm open to trying it and just having those boundaries, and just being like, this is where I can meet you right now.
Can I be totally honest with you?
Yeah.
In this place where you are postpartum, I do not want you to be having sex when it hurts.
Mhm.
No matter how much he wants to or feels like he gets turned on and he has this energy that he needs to disperse, your body is not ready for sex right now. And you will know when it is, when it stops being painful or uncomfortable, and when you actually start to feel your body opening and feeling desire again through those sensual experiences. Right now, if you continue to say, okay, he really wants it, and so I'm just gonna get it over with and do it, you're gonna end up doing more damage to your relationship in the long run than if you had just say in the moment, hey, I'm really not available for sex right now.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Mhm.
makes a lot of sense.
You also said that he's so understanding. He's so compassionate. He doesn't want to do anything to hurt you. And so I just want you to like keep that in mind, that it's actually okay for you to say no to him, and he's still going to love you and he's still going to want to be with you. And I think it may be even an important part of your healing process to learn what it's like to have him coming towards you with sexual energy and just really honor your boundary and say, hey, actually, like, I'm a no for that right now. And it's nothing to do with you. And how can we stay connected?
Yeah. Yeah, I think we definitely have an opportunity to expand how we get connected. And I think it goes back to my past as well of like, just like, let's have sex and get it over with. And I don't want to be like that with my partner.
Absolutely. I want you to never again can you promise me from this moment forward, never again will you have sex just to get it over with?
Promise.
Promise?
Promise.
Okay. All right. I'm going to check in with you on that. I'm going to hold you accountable to that. Are you okay with that?
Sounds good.
Okay. Amazing. Thank you so much for being here and sharing and just being really vulnerable about your journey. And I just want to say congratulations again on your baby and soak that in. Just enjoy this phase with your baby. And there will be so much time in your relationship for more fun, hot sex. And let this period be about connection and juiciness and pleasure and sensuality and letting your body heal. It's really, really important.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're so welcome. So we just wrapped caller 3 of the day, and honestly, that was a really tough call. She's in a hard position where her partner really wants to have consistent sex with her and gets a lot of value out of their sexual relationship. And she's in a position where she currently doesn't, and it's painful and it's uncomfortable. And so a lot of the things and the defaults that she usually goes to about sex, which is we've got to have penetration, it's got to end in his orgasm. Those are stories that a lot of us take in and learn about sex that are misconceptions. And so my advice to her is about expanding the range of what's possible in intimacy, seeing how sex can provide more than just an orgasm or just connection. And there are so many other ways to connect other than just penetrative sex. And if she integrates that, I think it'll be really valuable for her relationship, along with the value of saying no. Women need to know that the definition of consent is that it is revocable at any time. And so to have a full body yes, our no has to be safe and it has to be respected. And so the more that she expresses that with her partner, who is obviously very loving, she'll be able to open up more of her yes. That is all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Phone a Fairy. You can text this number right here if you are interested in being featured on a future episode. And as always, if you want more support from us, the Intimacy Accelerator is linked in the description box below. Subscribe if you want to see the next episode. I actually think what's more beneficial for you at this point, hold on, I'm fixing a candle. The biggest piece is that fucking candle.